Go confidently in the direction of your dreams and live the life you have imagined. Namaskar. Welcome to Daily PT Pointers. And in this video, we are going to cover major headlines of the Hindu, Indian Express, Press Information Bureau, and Live Mint. So, without wasting any time, let's start today's discussion. And our first headline is related to Cauvery water dispute. And ये न्यूज में भी इसलिए है क्योंकि recently Supreme Court agreed to constitute a bench to hear Cauvery river water sharing dispute between Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. Earlier, Tamil Nadu moved the Supreme Court seeking a directions to Karnataka to release 24,000 cubic per second of Cauvery water daily to support standing crops. Now let's know about Cauvery. So friends, it is an interstate basin that originates in Karnataka and passes through Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry, which is now known as Puducherry, before draining into Bay of Bengal. And do you know friends, government constituted the Cauvery Water Dispute Tribunal in 1990 to educate the water dispute between the states of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala and Puducherry with respect to interstate Cauvery water and river basin. Our next headline is related to Chandrayaan 3 and ये न्यूज में भी इसलिए है क्योंकि recently Chandrayaan 3's lander module established contact with Chandrayaan 2 lunar orbiter, and ISRO also posted images of the far side of moon which is captured by the lander hazard detection and avoidance camera on board the lander. The photo marks Hain, which is a lunar impact crater next to the northeast limb of the moon. And do you know friends, Chandrayaan 3 mission was launched in July 2023 via LVM-3 heavy lift launch vehicle, and the primary objectives of Chandrayaan 3 mission is to demonstrate safe and soft landing on lunar surface, to demonstrate rover roving on the moon and to conduct in situ scientific experiments. बाकी चंद्रयान मिशन को हमारे YouTube चैनल पे बहुत अच्छे से कवर किया गया है एंड लिंक अवेलेबल करा दिया गया है डिस्क्रिप्शन में. Our next headline is related to production linked incentive scheme जो कि अनाउंस हुई है 14 सेक्टर्स के लिए to enhance India's manufacturing capabilities and exports. एंड ये 14 सेक्टर्स हैं मोबाइल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग एंड स्पेसिफाइड इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कंपोनेंट्स, क्रिटिकल की स्टार्टिंग मटेरियल और ड्रग इंटरमीडियरीज एंड एक्टिव फार्मास्यूटिकल इंग्रेडिएंट्स, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग ऑफ मेडिकल डिवाइसेस, ऑटोमोबाइल एंड ऑटो कंपोनेंट्स, फार्मास्यूटिकल ड्रग्स, स्पेशलिटी स्टील, टेलीकॉम एंड नेटवर्किंग प्रोडक्ट्स, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक टेक्नोलॉजी प्रोडक्ट्स, white goods, food products, textile products, man-made fiber segment and technical textiles, high-efficiency solar PV modules, advanced chemistry cell battery and drone components. The scheme is aimed to attract investments in key sectors and cutting-edge technology and to ensure efficiency and bring economies of size and scale in the manufacturing sector and make Indian companies and manufacturers globally competitive. And with the help of PLI scheme, mobile phone exports jumped from $300 million in financial year 2018 to $11 billion in financial year 23. But former RBI governor contends that imports of fully put together mobile phones have come down and imports of mobile phone components have shot up between financial year 21 and 23. Our next headline is related to North Sea, which lies between England and Scotland on its west, Netherlands, Belgium and France on its south, Norway, Denmark, Germany on its east. And do you know friends, 1958 Geneva Convention on the Continental Shelf was first international legislation to establish the rights of countries over continental shelves adjacent to their coastlines and paved the way for exploration in the North Sea. It came into force in 1964, shortly after UK Parliament passed Continental Shelf Act in April of the same year. The Act provides for exploration and exploitation of continental shelf based on 1958 Convention, and it delineated the jurisdiction of UK had over oil and gas resources under the seabed near its shores, but there are concerns that drilling in seas and oceans for fossil fuels not only aggravates the threat of climate change but also warms oceans and raises sea levels. Now, recently, Ecuadorians voted against the oil drilling of a protected area in Amazon. They rejected the oil exploration in Block 44, which is situated within Yasuni National Park, which is one of the world's most biodiverse regions, and the area is inhabited by the Cauvery and Taromenani, who live in self-isolation. And in 1989, Yasuni National Park was designated as World Biosphere Reserve by UNESCO. Our next headline is related to India and ASEAN trade relations, and ये न्यूज में भी इसलिए है क्योंकि recently India participated in 20th Asian India Economic Ministers meeting in Indonesia, and main agenda of this year meeting was a timely review of Asian India Trade in Goods Agreement जो कि साइन हुआ था 2009 में, and India and ASEAN have agreed to conclude review of the existing free trade agreement in goods by 2025. Now let's know more about ASEAN. तो फ्रेंड्स ये एस्टैब्लिश हुआ था 1967 में इन बैंकॉक विद साइनिंग ऑफ बैंकॉक डिक्लेरेशन, एंड इसके फाउंडिंग फादर्स थे इंडोनेशिया, मलेशिया, फिलीपींस, Singapore and Thailand. And do you know friends, India and ASEAN registered a bilateral trade of more than 130 billion US dollar in 2022-23, and trade with ASEAN accounted for 11.3% of India's global trade in 2022-23. Our next headline is related to remittances, and ये न्यूज में भी इसलिए है क्योंकि according to RBI's data, fund flow under RBI's liberalized remittances scheme shot up to 32,000 crore in June as against 23,900 crore in May this year. Now let's know more about liberalized remittances scheme. So friends, under this scheme, all resident individuals including minors are allowed to freely remit up to 250,000 US dollar per financial year for any permissible current or capital account transaction or a combination of both. Our next headline is related to Datia Airport, and ये न्यूज में भी इसलिए है क्योंकि recently Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh and Union Minister of Civil Aviation and Steel laid the foundation stone of Datia Airport in Madhya Pradesh, and ये develop हो रहा है at the cost of around 50 crore and it is expected to be completed by February 2024. ये पार्ट है रीजनल कनेक्टिविटी स्कीम उड़ान का। तो चलिए थोड़ा जानते हैं उड़ान स्कीम के बारे में। ये लॉन्च की गई थी मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ सिविल एविएशन के द्वारा इन 2016 to enhance regional air connectivity from unserved and underserved airports in the country and making air travel affordable to the masses. ये एक market driven scheme है. Under it, interested airlines based on their assessment of demand on a particular routes submit their proposals at the time of bidding under Udan. And do you know friends, Ministry of Civil Aviation launched Udan 5.1 in May 2023 to further enhance connectivity to remote areas of the country and achieve last mile connectivity through helicopters. Our next headline is related to exercise Malabar, and ये न्यूज में भी इसलिए है क्योंकि recently 27th edition of the exercise Malabar concluded in Australia. And do you know friends, Malabar series of exercises begin as annual bilateral naval exercise between India and US in 1992. जापान ने ज्वाइन किया था in 2015, and Malabar 2020 saw the participation of Australian Navy also. Our next headline is related to ASMITA, जो कि an Army Wives Welfare Association का इनिशिएटिव है, and ये न्यूज में भी इसलिए है क्योंकि recently Army Wives Welfare Association ने ऑर्गेनाइज किया है सेकेंड सीजन ऑफ अस्मिता इन न्यू दिल्ली, एंड इट वाज ऑर्गेनाइज्ड to share inspiring stories of wives of the army personnel who have created niche for themselves in various fields with their perseverance and resilience after overcoming numerous challenges. And इसका जो फर्स्ट सीजन हुआ था वो हुआ था अक्टूबर 2022 में. Now let's know about Army Wives Welfare Association. तो फ्रेंड्स, ये एक एसोसिएशन है जो काम करती है वेलफेयर ऑफ स्पाउसेस, चिल्ड्रन एंड डिपेंडेंट्स ऑफ आर्मी पर्सनल, एंड ये ऑफिशियली रजिस्टर्ड हुई थी एज वेलफेयर सोसाइटी विद द रजिस्ट्रार ऑफ सोसाइटीज दिल्ली एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन इन 1966. आवर नेक्स्ट हेडलाइन इज रिलेटेड टू प्राइम मिनिस्टर्स डेवलपमेंट इनिशिएटिव फॉर नॉर्थ ईस्ट रीजन स्कीम, जो कि अनाउंस हुई थी एज अ न्यू सेंट्रल सेक्टर स्कीम इन यूनियन बजट 2022-23 एंड कैबिनेट ने इसको अप्रूव किया था अक्टूबर 2022 में एंड ये सपोर्ट करती है नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर एंड सोशल प्रोजेक्ट्स अलाइंड विद द पीएम गति शक्ति जनरेटिंग यूथ एंड वुमेन्स लाइवलीहुड while addressing sector gaps. Our next and last headline is related to BRICS summit and ये न्यूज में भी इसलिए है क्योंकि प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ इंडिया will attend the 15th BRICS summit in South Africa today. Now let's know about BRICS. So friends, leader of Brazil, Russia, India and China met for the first time in Russia in July 2006 and first summit was held in Russia in 2009. The grouping was renamed as BRICS after South Africa was accepted as full member at the BRIC Foreign Ministers meeting in New York in September 2010. And do you know friends, it is an important grouping bringing together the major economies from the world comprising 41% of world's population, having 24% of the world's GDP and over 16% share in the world trade. So with this, let's conclude our today's discussion. Thanks for listening and for regular updates, you can follow us on various social media platforms.